everyone. I'm just here with a quick video talking about my word of the year and just talking about my altar and kind of my practice this year and what I have been working on or what I'm planning to work on for the year. So a lot of people will pick a word of the year. I they will think about what it is they want to embody for the year, and they'll pick one. But I let the universe pick the word for me. So I think I've explained this. I might have explained this last year in a video. What I do is I have so many decks, right? And I have like God and Goddess decks. And so I have six that I've labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I roll a dice. And then whichever number comes up, that's the deck that I use. I take that deck, I shuffle the cards, and whichever one pops out, is my word for the year. And I do this on January 1st in the morning every year. I've done this for a few years now. So last year I got the goddess Bast and the word was play. So it was interesting because I was kind of, it was 2023, early 2023, very much still like a lot of worries and fears about things around COVID, not going out as much. And it's sort of like it felt like things were a little more serious in some ways. So it was really telling me like to go out and like have fun, to find more play and more creativity in my life. So it was really good to have that as a key word. And especially, as the year unfolded, there was, if you've been following me for a while, you know that last year I had, unfortunately, two deaths in my family. And so, having it was interesting to have a word that was, play, which is such a positive word, when dealing with such serious things, because it was a reminder that, like, okay, yes, these things are serious, but we also have to find joy. We also have to, find the bright spots in, these dark times. So, having play as a word of the year, I think was really, really healing and really beneficial. And then I also pick a rune for the year as well. Usually on New Year's Eve, I'll do a rune reading for the year. And so I will pick a rune for each of the 12 houses. Like if you know astrology, there's the 12 houses, which are 12 areas of life, basically. And then the 13th rune will be my rune for the year. And the rune that I got was Woonjo. I'm just going to pull out my rune cards here. Should have had this prepared, but I'm not always prepared. All right, so where's Moonjo? So I look through. Basically, though, it is a rune that is about community and it's about joyfulness and playfulness. So here's the rune for the year. There we go. That's Win or Woonjo, sometimes called, and it is about joy. So it was interesting, especially like I said, with some, more serious things going on this past year, to have a rune that was saying the energy I need to carry into the year is also one of like being in community and finding things to celebrate and finding joy. So it really matched up with the word of the year. So I'll have my rune, I'll have my word of the year. And this year, though, I pulled Lakshmi and Fortune. So lovely card to get. So I'm not overly well versed in, sort of Hindu gods and goddesses, but I know that Lakshmi is the goddess of prosperity and abundance and good luck. And so lovely card to get for 2024. I definitely could use some abundance and good luck this year. That's for sure, especially after last year. So seeing having this here, just really kind of, I thought it was really positive. And it's interesting that the keyword is fortune, especially because I read cards, like I'm a fortune teller, I guess you could say. So having that relationship to fortune. And then, when we think of fortune, sometimes we think of fate and fortune as being kind of intertwined and slightly different. Fate usually has a slightly more negative connotation, and then fortune has a more positive connotation. And I feel like this is kind of like saying, like, okay, some things in life, we can't do anything about. Some things in life, they just happen or they're part of, fate, destiny, whatever you want to call it. But sometimes those things aren't always negative. Sometimes they're good things. Like good things can happen to us too, that are destined for us as well. And so it's like noticing all the good things that happen, not just all the bad things. And I think that kind of leads into the word fortunate. Thinking about how fortunate I am and how fortunate and blessed I am that I have. I live. First of all, I live in a part of the world that's relatively safe. I don't have like bombs coming down on me. I'm not worried about like, I'm not saying these things are impossible, but I'm not particularly worried about like terrorists, breaking into my home. I'm not in a war zone. I don't, I don't live in, a really politically unstable part of the world, and cross our fingers it continues to stay that way, right? Because like nothing's guaranteed. But it makes me really appreciate that and appreciate like the abundance I have. Like I have food in the fridge and I can pick out what clothes I want to wear in the morning. And, when I go grocery shopping, I can buy, pretty much whatever I want, I mean, price is getting higher, but whatever. But generally speaking, like or the fact that I can even go to a grocery store and like get food is, pretty fortunate, pretty abundant. I have a good job, like all these things. I have a lovely husband, my kids are well, all of those kind of things. Just thinking about how fortunate I am that, you know, there's a lot of good things too. And so I think especially after having like a difficult year and going through some, difficult times, I think having like a word like this for the year is just like, I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God it's not something difficult. Thank goodness that it is a wonderful card. And then it also spurs me on to learn more about, this particular, whatever particular deity comes up for me for the year. So, and then I'll work with that deity on Sabbats. I'll work with them then. And then I think I like explained some of this stuff last year. I also will pick do kind of the same thing each new moon. So the last new moon, which at the recording of this was the new moon in Capricorn, I got Odin and I got guidance. And actually on my Patreon for February, we're working with this theme and also with Odin as well. And so I kind of have, I have my god or goddess for the year, and then I'll have a different god and goddess to work with for the lunar cycles as well. So all this lunar cycle, I've been working with Odin, and then when the new moon in Aquarius comes up later this week, I'll be picking another card as well. Same thing, I let the universe pick for me who I'm working with. And then each Sabbat, I pull a card as well. And so I think I talked about this last time that, each Sabbat I'll kind of has like a little bit of a different theme for me or a different deck that I'll pull from. And so, for example, when we had Yule, I have an angel deck and I pulled out, it was Archangel Raziel, who is associated with higher learning and sacred geometry. And so that gives me kind of a focus for the Sabbath season as well. And for Imbolc, I do, I'll pull a crystal. And so last year, the crystal that I had was black tourmaline, which, is like a protective crystal. It was saying like, I'm protected, but it's also about letting go of things. And it's also about things clearing out and it's about death. And that's what happened like last year. So it's about like clearing things out, letting things go. That transition very much associated, I think, with the death card in tarot. And then this year I got fluorite. Now, I don't think this is like the best picture of fluorite. Fluorite is often like a clear, slightly greenish stone, and it'll have color bands in it if you haven't seen it. It's too bad I don't have a piece on my altar right here to show you. But anyway, fluorite is, I love fluorite. It's one of my favorite stones. It's about calmness and clarity. And so it's this message about like really getting calm and clear about things. And so I was like, okay, make sure you're doing your meditations, make sure you're doing your journaling, getting calm, very, very clear, getting very centered. And its message kind of was like, when you start clearing yourself, like working on yourself, that's when things in the outer world start to calm and clear up as well. So very much about like talking about a lot of inner work and clarity and calmness. So I was like, that is a very lovely, lovely crystal to get. And then I have my card for the month, and this has more to do with sort of like my creativity and my business, and it is from the Sacred Creators Oracle, which is one of my favorite decks. So this month, I got Raw Intention. Light, you can't really fades it out, but anyway, they're very lovely cards. I'm not big on like minimalism or like overly graphic geometric stuff, but this is just it's a beautiful deck and I really, really love it. You can't really see because of the pattern there. But yeah, it has a lot of like sort of sacred geometry and stuff like that on it. Just as a focus for my business or a focus for my creativity that month. I also have creativity runes too that are in this. I don't know if you can see it, but this cup right here. I have some creativity runes, and I'll pull it every quarter. So on the 1st January, I pulled this one, which is about organization. So just in my like my artwork and music and things like that, it's saying be organized, time, set aside time to do those things because I have to carve out time. Otherwise, it's not going to get done, right? And so it's just a reminder for the quarter. And then I have a card of the week, which is upstairs. I have like affirmation decks, and I will pull an affirmation for the week that I'll work with. So that's upstairs. But then I have my card for the day. This year, again, where is this here? I got all these shells under here. I wasn't sure which deck to work with for my card of the day. I usually work with a lot of Colette Baron Reid decks. I think she does a great job with Oracle decks as far as like pulling something for the day. And last year, I was working with her new deck for a while, and then I started working with Wisdom of the Oracle. I think she's got some new decks coming out soon, so we'll see what those are. But I thought for now anyway, and this may change later in the year, but for now I'm working with the Animal Spirit Oracle. I love this deck. I love that it's got more than kind of that standard Hay House 44 cards. I think it's got like 62 or something. It's got a lot of cards in it. And I'm a sucker for animal decks. Love animal decks. Like today's, for example, is Swan Spirit. Like they're beautiful. They're gorgeous. They got lovely animals on it. And it says time for a deep dive. So it has like a little message for the day. So basically I have like kind of, my rune and my god or goddess for the year. I have like a monthly card. I have my card that I pull at the new moon for the lunar cycle. And then I'll have my weekly, my Sabbath card, and then I'll have my daily card. So I'm just letting you in a little bit on my practice and what's on my altar and what are the energies I'm working with this year. I know everybody's got their own kind of practice, but this to me helps me kind of align with the cycles of both the year and the months, which is, the world we live in, but also those spiritual cycles like the moon and the Sabbaths too. And so that's kind of what I'm doing this year, kind of what I'm working with. It doesn't mean it won't change later in the year, but this is what I'm intending to go forward with for the year. Let me know what you do. I hope this kind of like inspires you in some way, maybe gives you some ideas. Let me know what you do. I love hearing about what other people are doing kind of in their practice as well. If you want to join me on Patreon, check that out. Always got to plug that. And if you want a reading, you can check out my Etsy shop. For the month of February, I am highlighting relationship readings because, of course, Valentine's Day. But the relationship reading isn't just romantic. It could be for like any kind of relationship at all that you're kind of, maybe wanting a little more insight into. You can check that out below. It's on sale this month, so check that out. Other than that, though, just thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments. And of course, thank you to my patrons. You guys make this possible, so thank you so much. And as always, peace and love and light.